for this week. So I decided that I wanted these book talks, when I talked about a book, to be a book that you can access from home in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to try to focus my book talks on that. So I'm kind of looking at all the resources that are out there and choosing specific books that I know that you can still get without having to go anywhere, and can access for free as long as you have the right tools at your disposal. So the book that I want to talk about now is a book that I talk about a lot in book talks, and it's a popular book in the library for a couple different reasons. First of all, it has a very interesting and unique premise, and second of all, it's not really long. It's actually a pretty short book. I don't physically have it here, but if I did have it, it would only be like this, that thick right there. So the book is Be More Chill by Ned Vizzini. Ned Vizzini is a very popular author in not only our library, but a lot of different libraries. He also wrote the book, It's Kind of a Funny Story, which is kind of a, everybody in the young adult world knows that book. And Be More Chill is one of his other books. So like I said, it has an interesting premise. So the premise of this book, the main character, his name is Jeremy. Jeremy Here is his last name. And he is a self-described super dork. He is very awkward at school. He spends most of his day at school like staring at this girl whose name is Christine, that he really, really likes, but feels like he wouldn't have, any kind of chance with. And so he ends up finding out about this supercomputer that you can take in pill form. So it's this pill that you take, and then a supercomputer is planted within your brain, and it tells you what to do to get whatever it is you most want. And so he makes the decision to fork over the money to take this pill and to have this supercomputer, which is called the SQUIP, 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 implanted in his brain just through taking this pill. And all of a sudden, there's this voice that speaks to him. It tells him what to say. It tells him what to wear. It tells him how to act. It tells him where to go in order to get what he wants in life, which for the most part is Christine, is what he wants in life. And slowly this supercomputer turns him in from being a super dork into not being that way anymore. But of course, as you can imagine, there are consequences along the way. So it's a really interesting story, a really interesting book. It makes you think. It's got kind of some twists, some dark twists towards the end. So know that. This book I think anybody who reads this book would really like it and enjoy it. And like I said, it's a really quick read. I really recommend the audiobook of this book because it's narrated by Jesse Eisenberg, who does an excellent job. And what's really cool in the audiobook is that, Jesse Eisenberg just uses his normal voice for Jeremy Here. But whenever the supercomputer speaks, they like digitally alter his voice so it sounds more like a computer in his brain. It's got this sort of like auto-tuned kind of quality around it and everything. So that's kind of cool that you get that back and forth between his thoughts and this altered voice of the supercomputer. So where exactly can you access this book? You can access this book, both the ebook and the audiobook, through the app Hoopla. I talked about the app Hoopla in my last book talk. I'll leave all of the links for the Hoopla app and the fact that you have to have the Sacramento Public Library card to access the Hoopla app, but you get free access to both the ebook and the audiobook through that. Like I said, I really recommend the audiobook. If you have to choose one or the other, the audiobook is great to be able to listen to. That's the way that I listened to it. The other thing that is of note that's really cool about this is they made a Broadway musical out of this book. It had a sort of a cult following and everything. So that also you can access on Hoopla. They have the original cast recording on Hoopla, but I believe you can also access that one through pretty much every major music platform as well. And what they did in the Broadway version is they had an actual actor play the SQUIP. So it was kind of cool to have that sort sort of physical representation of this voice on stage with Jeremy and all of his other friends. So there was a lot of like technology involved in the show, really cool visuals and everything. I personally haven't had enough time to be able to delve into that soundtrack a little bit more, but everyone who I know who has encountered it has enjoyed it. So that's another cool path that you could go down with this particular book. So that's Be More Chill by Ned Vizzini. I'll be back next week with another book and another free way that you can access it. I hope you're reading. I hope you're well and healthy. Stay safe, stay healthy.